Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is your host for Gloves on Film, Christina, and I have something extra special for you today. Now, before I jump into it, I'd like to thank everybody for liking, sharing, subscribing, telling a friend. I really appreciate it. I started this channel just to get more people familiar with more movies than you guys have seen maybe in the last 10 years, because I do review movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, as well as this century. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about a classic film that started off as a play but made it into the movies. If you see by the name of the title, we're going to talk about 6 Degrees of Separation. Now, that term within itself is something that everybody has heard before, and they definitely understand it. All in all, it basically just means we are 6 people or fewer away from having connections with another person. Basically, if someone tells you, oh, I know you from a friend of a friend, or hey, how do you know such and such? Such a small world. That's basically what it means. Now, the movie is about Will Smith. His character's name is Paul, and how he infiltrates this group of well-known socialites and art dealers and the hoity-toity type, right, in New York. Now, he does this by basically just being a con man and lying and saying that he's a son of Sidney Poitier. Yes, Sidney Poitier. And they actually fall for it, which is the crazy part. I mean, and it just proves that if you're well spoken and if you say that you know someone without actually exposing any real detail, more than likely the average person will fall for it. Because he tells these people that, hey, I know your kids that go to Ivy League schools, and really he doesn't know them personally. It kind of falls in the way that the parents are instantly gratified when they hear that, oh, someone knows my kids, not even realizing that their kids are spoiled brats. I mean, they have this clip where they show the kids, they speak to the parents horribly. One even laughs at the fact that his mom divorces his dad and he calls them so stupid, and they all basically think that their parents are complete idiots for allowing someone into their home that they don't even know, all off the fact that they said that they know their kids and they know their first names only. Now, the key to this entire thing is the young man who started Paul, played by Will Smith, on his path. Now, he met Will Smith on his doorstep on a rainy night. Now, he goes into his home. Will Smith is going through his house and saying, what is this? What is that? And they come across this address book. And as Will Smith is flipping through this book, he's asking questions about these people. Now, the young man, because he's smitten with Will Smith's character, he's interested in him. And so because he makes this rather weird exchange that he will explain, and he will teach Paul, played by Will Smith, he will teach him everything he needs to know about these people and how to infiltrate a group such as this. He also talks about the way that Will Smith speaks and the enunciation of his words, and saying that if you want to fit in, I'll show you how to speak, how to walk, how to talk. That way you can slide right in. Now, the underlining thing of all of this was, of course, the young man was homosexual, and he wanted to have it his way of meeting Paul at random places, and his family and friends knowing Paul, so that when the two met organically, that no one would suspect them, that it would be right under their parents' noses, basically, that no one will question his orientation. So that was the whole ordeal and how it started. It started off with one little selfish detail. And yes, I do think that's selfish to play with the lives of all other people because you're not in a position to be your true authentic self. But that's a whole nother video. So basically, because he's telling him about all these people and how they do go about their business and their dealings, and that's how Will Smith comes across of knowing all these people, their kids, and different details of their lives. And of course, he studied Sidney Poitier's biography. So when he comes to the people and the people say, oh, okay, isn't your mother named this, or isn't your siblings named this, that way he jump on the questions and comes right in. And this one thing, it shows you, and this is one thing about the movie, it shows you that if you're charming and if you're well spoken and if you carry yourself a certain way, you can infiltrate anywhere that you want. And it's true. You fake it until you make it. If you fake it, you will make it. It's crazy. The first couple that he comes across, right? He tells them that, oh, I got mugged and I got stabbed. And yes, he has a stab wound that he self-inflicted. he comes upstairs, they patch him up, and they're in the middle of a very big business deal. And he's so charming, and he's getting them all riled up and telling them stories about Sidney Poitier and how he's doing a movie about the movie Cats. Cats. Gross. Yeah, so everybody's getting all hyped up and they want to know more about Sidney Poitier's child and how did you come about, and oh my god, you're friends with their kids. And it basically would mean to them that they would have more talking points during dinner because they're socialized. They need more things to talk about, more things to discuss. And what better is it to say that my kid knows Sidney Poitier's child? It's awesome. So okay, he gets to talking, and he's charming, and he tells them, hey, why don't I cook you dinner? And then, which is basically, he makes spaghetti and pasta sauce. So I mean, it was no whoop-de-doo, but guess what? It's the presentation, it's the packaging. You know, he was a well put together package, again, that the first gentleman put together as a ploy to make it seem like they organically will be within the same circles. Now throughout the whole film, I mean, Will Smith is going from family to family, and he's playing the same con. I know your kids, I go to school with them. Again, the kids all go to Ivy League schools. So the parents are not thinking that this guy is a con man, he's a shyster. They're not thinking that. They're thinking like, oh, he's a good person. This is the top of the top schools, you know what I mean? And so he easily is swooping in. He's telling them anything, and no, Will Smith's character, he does not steal. He's not doing anything, and he's not harming anyone. But he's playing a mind game. One thing that I will say that was intriguing to me, everybody that came across Paul, they all had pleasant things to say. And they all were very captivated by everything that he said. Whether, you know, it was BS or not, they were all very captivated. And also ultimately made them question their own lives and see if their lives were really fulfilling and really enriching the way that this person, Paul, has played. First couple that he came across, the Kittredges, they go out after they meet him the first night. Will Smith brings home a male lover, and that kind of gets them very upset. They didn't want any extra guests in their house, so they kick him out and they leave it alone. Now, of course, again, I said that they like to have things to discuss across dinner because that's just the type of people that they are. They like to spill things. They like to be engaging. They like to have a story to tell. And so they go on with their plans. And, you know, each time they get to a different event, they're telling the same stories. But as they begin to tell the story at each event, more and more people are coming in intrigued. But they're also finding out that each set of friends that they have also been introduced to this guy, Paul, played by Will Smith. Sidney Poitier's son. Everybody has been played the same con game. And again, he never kills, he doesn't steal, he doesn't do anything. He's just running game on them. And so they hatch a plan to find out his true identity. And of course, at that time, they really couldn't find him. And at the same time, there's a couple chapters that are played out for viewers to see. Everybody fell for it. Everybody falls for the charm and the charisma. And so one thing that I thought was really interesting was when you're very well spoken, you're very well versed, and he knew a lot about museums and art and literature, and so he basically just so smoothly integrated into all of these basically impenetrable groups that, or so you would think. And so that throughout the movie, Will Smith is conning people. You know, his character is turning people out. You know, he's telling different people. He comes across one couple in the park, and a young couple, man and woman, and he tells them, oh yeah, my dad lives in the highest this building over here, and he doesn't claim me. He hates my mom. I live on the streets. And of course, the couple, being nice people, they invite Paul back into their home, and he's living there. Everything is going good. And of course, now time comes up where Paul is coming up with another plan and to move on to his next victims. So he tells them, oh, he's short this money, and the couple is struggling. You know, it's a hard time for them. And he tells them, oh, I just need this money to get wherever I need to go. And unfortunately, the girlfriend and the boyfriend, they have a disagreement about it. The girlfriend goes to work. The boyfriend ends up taking the money out and giving it to Will Smith. Now, they go on to dinner and everything. By the time they finish that night, they're on a ride, in a horse and carriage ride around the park, having sex in the back of the horse and carriage.
Oh,
now,
come on, stop that. I was wondering if I could fuck you.
I didn't know that this was something that people could really do. People can really charm you out of your drawers. Like, it's a real thing. Like, it's really a real thing. And this movie proves it. This movie proves it. But the good takeaway of this entire film, yes, it looks really questionable for a young man that no one throughout the film, even the first gentleman who met him and introduced him to all of these people, he never knew his real name. Everybody knew him as Paul Portier. No one knew this guy's real name, where he was from, any family, any friends, nothing. It made me believe that the character Paul was a nut job. He was a psychopath. He was, a sociopath. Because there's no way that you can come through interchangeably these different people. You're keeping up with this big charade that you're related to this person who you clearly don't know, but you've studied him down to the dime. And everybody's believing it because no one is really fact checking it. And when they do try to go through and fact check different things, it's kind of like everybody's so intrigued with the story that they don't really give a damn if it's true or not. And I think that if you have never seen this movie, you definitely need to check it out. It's one of those movies that will really make you question if you really know the people around you. Do you really know them? And are our social groups really our social groups? Or have we just met people from a friend of a friend? Or do we just know them because someone mentioned their name or said, oh, I went to school with you, but you really don't know the people and you never really checked your yearbook to see if you even ever seen them before. So guys, if you have not checked out that movie, please check out the film. It's pretty good. I think it should be on Netflix. If it's not, it's called 6 Degrees of Separation, starring Will Smith. Please check it out. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. Peace.